This video is not sponsored by any of the products shown. If you are interested in using some of the stuff that I use, I will leave links in the description below. Hello everyone! Welcome to this video where I talk about how I do my manga pages from start to finish. I will be dividing this into a two-part series, so be sure to keep an eye out for part 2. In this video, I will be discussing my first initial steps of what I do to prepare and get each page started. Before I start the video though, be sure to check out my latest manga release. I've worked long and hard to make it beautiful, and I think they're turning out wonderfully. I will have links in the description to my newest series, Maid. It has awesome reviews so far, so I hope that you'll enjoy it too. Now when starting to make a manga, you need to have a clear idea as to what you're doing. I've learned over the years that it helps to have a rough idea, at least, to follow as a guideline. Before I started making manga as a career, I was doing it as a hobby. I would sit down and draw the pages out from my head from start to finish with little regard to story consistency or pacing. This definitely reflected in the content that I made, where it was choppy and unrefined. What I do to start things off is I write things in a text format. My writing style is a little odd in a sense where it's sometimes in a novel format and other times it's in a script format. I just try to make it in a way where I could go back and re-visualize it the same way I saw it when I first wrote it. It sometimes helps to write it in script format more than novel form, so that you don't have to worry about all of the appropriations that come with grammar. Also, sometimes it doesn't even make it into the final cut, so you'll end up doing more work if you write it in a novel format. However, there is a small benefit to doing it in novel format, and that is being able to release it as a light novel down the road. I haven't exactly done this myself, but it's been an idea that's been floating around in my head for quite a while. The next step I take is drafting everything. These will be extremely rough sketches on cheap copy paper to get down the placements of the characters, panels, and speech bubbles. I always write the text down during the drafting so that I don't have to go back and forth between the draft and the script when finishing everything off. It's all in one tidy place, and if needed, you could always go back to the script if something seems out of place or missing. Once I have all of my drafts done, I revise to make sure that everything looks good, and then I move on to the final sketch portion of my process. This is the final outcome of what things will look like before I ink or line art, as you can call it. I like to do this first half all on paper. I don't know why, but I feel like the paper is better to work with than my on-screen tablet. The type of paper that I use is an 11x17 comic Bristol board paper made by Strathmore. To start, I use a ruler to first map out my frames according to the specific draft page that I'm on. I then sketch out all of the characters in their designated spots. I sometimes end up tweaking placements around if they seem better in one spot than the other. Sometimes the adjustments between the copy paper and the manga paper is a little off, so I try to make it fit as naturally as possible. This may take a little time to figure out the right scaling. Since I'm a pretty quick sketcher, it usually doesn't take me very long. Sometimes anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes per page, depending on the detail. However, this is given that my style is a lot more simplistic compared to other mangas and comics. After I have all of the characters sketched out and placed, I sketch in the speech bubbles wherever they look and fit best for the final draft. I don't usually write on final sketches for speech bubbles, since I already have the draft handy. The writing in pencil usually smears anyways, so I like to keep things clean. However, if I decide that something else would look better said in a specific speech bubble, I will write it off to the side for later reference. Finally, once everything is complete, I head on over to my scanner to scan all of the pages one by one. As I mentioned before, I use Bristol board as my main paper to sketch my manga on, so I can't let it go through the automated slot, since it'll get jammed. I scan my manga at 600 dpi for maximum clarity and awesomeness. It sometimes takes quite a while, especially since I usually scan around 2 chapters at once, which is around 60 to 70 pages. It's usually easier for me to do everything all at once rather than in a few days. My scanning bed is a little bigger than the 11 by 17 sheets that I use. After my pages are all scanned, I move on to the inking step, in which I will cover in part 2. I hope you all have enjoyed this video so far enough to leave a thumbs up and possibly subscribe. I hope to do more frequent videos in the future, which will include more instructional videos, some more storytime videos, streaming videos, and speed sketches. Be sure to also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and DeviantArt, where I will be posting some more awesome artwork. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.